Hey everybody, this is Will Engel. I'm a strategist for Open Education Initiatives at UBC Center for Teaching, Learning, and Technology. And in this video, I'm going to be talking a little bit about WordPress. Now, I tend to describe WordPress as a blank slate tool because as a technology, it's pretty flexible and can be used in a lot of different ways. So in this video, I'm going to walk through a couple different examples of how WordPress is being used to support teaching and learning here at UBC. So first, WordPress is often used as a way to deliver educational content as an open resource. And this is being demonstrated here by SoilWeb 200. This is a project of Dr. Maya Krzik, and it's a site that provides students with interactive text-based information to assist them in understanding fundamental soil science concepts, and it's used to support the lecture and lab-based teaching methods in the APBI 200 Intro to Soil Sciences course here at UBC. You'll see that as I drill down through the site, that it has lots of rich material, and in this way I often position content-rich sites like this as a form of an open textbook. There's a couple different aspects of this site that I want to specifically show as they demonstrate a couple of different WordPress approaches and plugins that we use a lot here at UBC. First, you can see the site has a bunch of interactive formative self-quizzes built into it. I think from a teaching and learning perspective, quizzes like these are great because they allow learners to assess their understanding of the content. To implement these, we basically used a form tool that has conditional logic built into it called Gravity Forms. Now, Gravity Forms is not a free plugin, and there are probably a lot of other plugins and methods and approaches that can achieve similar functionality. But to have some self-assessment interactivity such as multiple choice questions adds a lot to open resources that have a lot of static content. Another aspect of the site is that the content layers and presentation layers have been split. If I drill down into some content and click Edit, you notice that instead of seeing the page text in the dashboard, you're seeing this. The site is using a plugin called Wiki Embed, which lets you embed MediaWiki pages directly into your site. There's a couple of good reasons for why you may want to do this. First, it allows the content to be pushed into different presentation layers. In this instance, the content is being presented in an open resource, but it may be used in a different resource or even a closed LMS system in other cases. Either way, you're not forking the content and you're able to maintain and update a central content repository. Another reason you may want to take this approach is you may want lots of users, even students, to edit the content, but not have to manage or add users on the WordPress side. You can embed a specific version of the MediaWiki content rather than a live version, so you can continue to update the content and push out when you're ready. We see instructors using this functionality to empower students to edit and update their course content on the MediaWiki side and then push them out to the WordPress side when appropriate. In addition to WordPress being used for open educational resources, we also see WordPress being used specifically as course channels. Here's the course site for Law 423B, Video Game Law, which is a project of the instructor John Festinger. The site contains all of the course content and resources. John is filming his lectures and putting them online in different formats. He's pointing to the course readings, which are all open access resources, and he's using the WordPress site as the course communications channel. Here you can see that John calls the course syllabus a living syllabus as he's continually adding the actual course content directly into the syllabus. This site, however, is not just about the instructor delivering content. All the students are site contributors as well, and they're expected to contribute to the open discussion on this topic. The course involves student writing papers, and here you can actually see those papers. Here's a great comment by a student on the open nature of this course that I found. But does video game law need to be based on a classroom, they write. More and more I hope this class will lean towards an open internet-based community. This book has a wiki, uploading videos of the classes, guest speakers via Skype, commenting online for participation marks, all lead to an open source course. This online information sharing means the class should not be bound by its location, which as an exchange student I normally couldn't access. And that's a pretty cool reflection coming from a student on the open nature of this course. Another interesting aspect of this course site is it does not just contain information about the current session, but all sessions since the site launched. I consider this a temporal unbounding of the course. Students who are in the course several years ago can go back and access all of their resources and materials from when they were taking the course. Indeed, students from past years can still contribute to the site. Here's a post from a student who hasn't been in the course for several years. So here's this cool shift being enabled through open pedagogy and WordPress from a course being about a specific time and a place to a course being about an ongoing learning community. Following the idea of having students contribute meaningful work to the open pedagogy of a course site, here's an example of a site being used for a physics course where students are creating and uploading learning objects, everything from videos to quiz questions, which instructors are then incorporating back into the flow of the face-to-face course. WordPress is also used at UBC for e-portfolios. WordPress is a great platform for students, faculty, and staff to showcase and demonstrate their development or evidence of learning outcomes, skills, or competencies. I'm not going to go too deep about e-portfolios here, as we'll be covering them in another video. However, building upon the idea of having students share their own learning on their own website is the idea of connecting these learners and websites together. This is the Arts1 Open site. Arts1 is a year-long interdisciplinary program that integrates history, English, and philosophy together to introduce students to some of the great classic texts. The Arts1 Open website, which is a project of John Beasley Murray and Christina Hendricks and others, is an open online extension or complement to Arts1 that enables anyone to join the voyage of discovery and critical analysis. The site has a connectivist approach built into it. Much like Video Game Lost, students are creating their own posts. However, instead of doing it on a central course platform, they're doing it on their own websites. Learners are building their own sites and syndicating the course content from their sites to a central course platform here. I really like this approach as it allows students to have complete control over their own content. If they want to edit, delete, or change something, they can because they are in control of their own site. It also allows learners who are not formally enrolled in the course to connect with it as well. A neat outcome of this approach is that it aligns the student content with the instructors and exposes and surfaces the discussion, critique, and reflection that is part of a university course. If I click on a specific topic, I can read different discussions and debates, and I can really see what is happening in the course. It's really a fantastic open view into a classroom. Finally, I wanted to briefly highlight a recent pilot in using WordPress to support peer review. Here's Christina Hendricks' Arts1 seminar site, and she's asking that students hand in their papers via a form. This is basically another use of a gravity form. However, we're testing some new functionality that allows students in the course to be grouped. Submitting through this form creates a post that is only visible to the students in the same group as the original submitter, as well as the instructors. The peer students can then make inline comments at the paragraph level. The original submitter can then get pretty specific feedback from their peers. Anyone in the group can see the inline comments. The comments below the post, only the instructor and the student can see. So there's a whole peer review process that could be supported by this approach. A student submits their paper, gets feedback from their peers, gives feedback to their own peers, and then they edit and revise their own work and publish openly. Richard Tape here at UBC is developing this, and as soon as it's out of the pilot phase, it will be released openly. So those are some quick examples to how WordPress is being used for teaching and learning here at UBC. If you know of other ways WordPress is being used or other approaches that it could be used, please share them, and thanks for watching.